You're waiting for the elevator. It dings. Someone gets in, presses a button, and it's the very next floor. One single level up. Sounds minor, annoying even. But here's the stat. Up to 90% of elevator trips in low-rise buildings are for just one floor. And as useless as that may sound, it actually says something fascinating about human behavior. This isn't just about laziness. It's about our relationship with effort, convenience, health, and how the tiniest decisions reveal the biggest truths. Let's be honest. We've all done it. Maybe your arms were full. Maybe you just didn't feel like climbing stairs. One quick button press, and you're spared a few seconds of effort. No big deal, right? But multiply that by millions of people every day across the world, and you start to see the hidden impact. In fact, researchers studying building energy usage found that one-floor elevator trips waste huge amounts of power across commercial buildings. And it's not just environmental. Taking the stairs burns about 7 calories per flight. Over time, those skipped steps add up. According to the World Health Organization, 1 in 4 adults worldwide doesn't get enough physical activity. So when we avoid the stairs, we're not just saving effort, we're contributing to a global movement problem. That one-floor ride, it's a symbol of how we avoid small challenges that could improve our health. Let's zoom out. This stat also reveals something about how modern design shapes human behavior. In many buildings, stairwells are hidden, dark, or poorly maintained, while elevators are front and center, well-lit, and inviting. So we naturally choose the easier option, even when it makes less sense. This isn't just laziness. It's architecture nudging us toward passive choices. If the stairs were visible, wide, and pleasant, more people would use them. Behavioral economists call this choice architecture, the idea that how options are presented influences our decisions. So the elevator button becomes a default habit. Not a conscious decision, but a reflex shaped by design. But it gets even deeper. When people choose elevators over stairs, even for one floor, it reflects a broader psychological principle, present bias. That's our tendency to favor immediate comfort over long-term benefits. You know you should take the stairs, but right now, you're tired or in a rush. That immediate ease wins out over some vague promise of better fitness down the road. The elevator becomes a tiny case study in how humans constantly trade future value for present relief. Here's the thing. This behavior scales. Our brains are wired to minimize effort, and this shows up everywhere, from choosing fast food over cooking to clicking headlines instead of reading full articles. So that single-floor elevator stat? It's not just about stairs. It's a small window into a giant human tendency to default to ease, to resist discomfort, and to outsource effort whenever possible. But here's the twist. What if we flipped the script? What if we saw these tiny moments, like taking the stairs, as micro-decisions that actually build discipline, fitness, and resilience? Psychologists call this keystone behavior, small habits that influence larger life outcomes. Choosing stairs over elevators may seem trivial, but repeated over time, it can rewire your brain toward action instead of passivity. That's not just about health, it's about mindset. So yes, the stat may sound ridiculous. 90% of elevator trips in low-rise buildings are for one floor. But behind it lies a quiet truth about how we live. We're constantly choosing the path of least resistance, sometimes without realizing it. And those small choices shape who we become. So next time you reach for that elevator button, pause. That one-floor ride might just be the most revealing trip you take all day.